If you've worked hard your whole life and freedom still feels far away, this isn't a failure. It's a system shift. You followed the path you were shown. You dedicated your days, your energy, and your focus to a career that promised stability in return for your commitment. You showed up early. You stayed late when needed. You did what was asked of you, and you did it well. This was the agreement, the unspoken contract that generations before you had relied upon. That trust was not misplaced. It was based on a model that worked for a very long time. But somewhere along the way, the ground beneath your feet began to move. The changes were subtle at first, almost imperceptible, like a slow tide turning. You might have felt it as a vague sense of unease. Perhaps a colleague was let go unexpectedly. Maybe the pension plan was replaced with something less certain. You saw younger people coming in with different skills and different expectations. You did what you were told. You stayed loyal. You expected safety in return. Many people over 50 did the same thing. No grand announcement, no formal memo explaining the new terms of engagement. The world of work simply evolved, driven by technology, global competition, and a relentless pace of innovation. The very structure that once provided a clear and predictable ladder to success began to dismantle itself, leaving many seasoned professionals standing on a rung that led nowhere. The feeling of being left behind, or of running in place just to keep up, is not a reflection of your effort or your worth. It is the result of a profound, systemic transformation that has redefined the nature of a career. This is not a story about blame. It is not about pointing fingers at employers or lamenting the past. It is a story about understanding. It is about seeing the new landscape with clear eyes so you can navigate it with intention and with grace. More than that, this is a story about hope. The 9-to-5 workday, that familiar rhythm that has structured the lives of millions, was not born of nature. It was an invention, a solution designed for a specific time and a specific problem. Its roots trace back to the Industrial Revolution: factories, assembly lines, mass production. Companies needed a large workforce to be in the same place at the same time, performing synchronized tasks. An 8-hour day was a progressive reform, a hard-won victory by labor movements to limit the grueling 10 to 16-hour shifts that were once common. It created a predictable, manageable system for both the employer and the employee. This structure made perfect sense when work was largely physical and location-dependent. This model was built on standardization and efficiency. Everyone started at the same time. Everyone took lunch at the same time. Everyone went home at the same time. This predictability was the system's greatest strength. It allowed companies to scale and workers to build lives around a stable schedule. Families could plan dinners. Communities could organize evening events, traffic patterns, television programming. The 9-to-5 was more than a work schedule. It was the scaffolding upon which modern society was built. But this entire system was designed for a world that was fundamentally slower and more predictable than the one we live in today. It was built for large, stable industries where change happened over decades, not months. The skills you learned at 20 were often still relevant at 50. The company you joined was likely to be a pillar of the community for generations. The 9-to-5 model was not designed for the digital age gig economy speed of global communication, constant need to adapt and learn new things. It was a brilliant solution for its time, but that time has passed. The blueprint is now outdated. The world today operates on a completely different set of principles than the one that created the 9-to-5 job. The most significant driver of this change has been technology. The internet has dismantled the old workplace model. Mobile devices have dismantled the old workplace model. Cloud computing has dismantled the old workplace model. The pace of change in business has accelerated to dizzying speed. Entire industries can be reshaped in just a few years. Think of streaming services, video rental stores, online shopping, retail. A market leader one day can be struggling for survival the next. Businesses must be agile and lean. They can't maintain large, permanent workforces promised lifetime employment. Many companies now prioritize flexibility. They hire for specific projects, use contractors and freelancers, constantly restructure. Jobs have become more fluid and less permanent. Work gets deconstructed into tasks and projects that can be assigned, outsourced, automated. The role you were hired for 5 years ago may look completely different today, or it may not exist at all. The expectation is no longer doing the same thing for 40 years. Now you're expected to be a lifelong learner, constantly updating your skills, adapting to new tools, adapting to new challenges. The 9-to-5 system, rigid and slow, wasn't built for this speed and reinvention. The foundation of the traditional career path has developed deep cracks. The ladder has been replaced by a jungle gym. Movement can be sideways, diagonal, or downward before heading up again. For generations, there was an unspoken contract between employee and employer, a deeply ingrained cultural understanding. That contract was simple. You give us your time, your talent, your loyalty. We will give you a steady paycheck, benefits, and a secure place to work until you retire. This was the bedrock of the middle-class dream. It allowed people to buy homes, raise families, and plan for the future with a reasonable degree of confidence. Staying with one company for 20 years, 30 years, or even 40 years was seen as a sign of character and reliability. It was a source of pride. You were part of a corporate family, and you trusted that the family would take care of you. But in recent decades, that unspoken contract has been unilaterally rewritten by the forces of the new economy. It began with corporate downsizing in the 1980s and the 1990s, when even profitable companies began to lay off loyal, long-term employees to improve their bottom line and satisfy shareholder demands. The message, though often unspoken, was clear. Loyalty was no longer a shield. Your job was not guaranteed, no matter how hard you worked or how long you had been there. The focus shifted from long-term stability to short-term profits. This was a profound and painful betrayal for millions of workers who had kept their end of the bargain, only to find that the other side had changed the terms. Today, lifetime security is almost quaint. Mergers can make departments redundant overnight. A new CEO may not include your division. Technology can make your expertise less relevant. The realization that the old rules no longer apply can be, a deeply painful experience. Anger, betrayal, confusion, grief. You are grieving the loss of a future you thought was guaranteed. You are grieving the loss of a system that provided order and predictability. It is tempting to think, if only I had done something differently. Changed jobs more often, learned a different skill, been more aggressive in your career. Self-blame is natural but unproductive. It keeps you stuck. Give yourself grace to acknowledge the pain without letting it define you. This is not about being a victim. It is about being a realist. Global competition, technological disruption, and a corporate ethos that prioritizes shareholder value. Recognizing this is not surrender. It is clarity. It is like a sailor realizing the wind has changed. You don't blame yourself for the wind. You adjust your sails. This new reality requires a new mindset. The old mindset: my company will take care of me. The new mindset: I am the CEO of my own career. This does not mean you go it alone. It means you are in the driver's seat, managing your skills, building your network, creating your own sources of security. Daunting, yes, but also empowering. You are no longer waiting for permission. When a system changes, the wisest thing you can do is change with it. You don't throw away your experience. It is your most valuable asset. You may be feeling an exhaustion that runs deeper than tired, a heavy blanket of cynicism, emotional emptiness, a lack of motivation. You might dread Monday mornings or feel constant low-grade anxiety. This state has a name: burnout. For too long, we were told burnout is a personal failing, weakness, inability to handle pressure, lack of resilience. This is one of the most damaging lies of the old culture. Burnout is not a flaw in your character. Burnout is a signal, crucial feedback from your body, your mind, your spirit. It is an alarm telling you your situation is unsustainable. Something is fundamentally misaligned: your values, your energy, or your control. Ignoring it is like ignoring the oil light. Eventually, the engine seizes. The goal is not to push through. A weekend off helps, but if conditions don't change, you end up back where you started. The true purpose is to invite you to pause and listen. Get curious. What specifically is draining your energy? The fire hose of emails, a difficult colleague, feeling unseen. Getting specific is the first step. Then take small, intentional actions. Not a dramatic overnight decision, but reclaiming small pockets of agency. Can you structure one part of your day? Take a full lunch away from your desk? Find one task that connects to a larger purpose? Perhaps mentor someone. Imagine you have been playing a board game your entire life. You know all the rules by heart. You have developed strategies that served you for decades. You move your piece, you collect your rewards, you advance toward the finish line. But one day, everyone else seems to be playing a different game. The board looks the same, but the rules changed. The way to win is no longer the same. You were never given a new rule book. You were never told the game had been updated. This is what has happened in the world of work. You did not miss a memo. The rules shifted slowly, gradually, and quietly. This reframe is a gift. It can liberate you from self-blame and regret. It lets you stop asking, "What did I do wrong?" That question is a dead end. A better question is, "What can I do now, knowing what I know?" It opens possibilities, moves you from reaction to creation. When rules change, achieve clarity. Become a student of the modern job market. Project-based roles, consulting gigs, portfolio careers with multiple income streams. Talk to people in your industry and others. Ask trusted friends, former colleagues, even your children. Read and listen to current trends. In a culture obsessed with youth, it is easy to believe your age is a disadvantage. You may worry your skills are outdated or employers want cheaper talent. It is time to discard that narrative. Your years are your greatest asset. You have depth that cannot be learned in a weekend. You have lived through economic cycles, industry shifts, corporate restructurings. You have seen what works and what does not. This is not just experience. This is wisdom. Think about what your decades have taught you. Negotiate relationships, build consensus, manage difficult clients, communicate with tact and diplomacy, intuitive problem solving, see the big picture, anticipate obstacles. You have cultivated resilience, handled crises without panic, and persevered through long, difficult projects. These are critical, high-value competencies. Learn to articulate your value. Don't list titles, tell stories. Think of moments where you made a difference. Frame them as case studies. Instead of managed a team of 10, say, I led a team through a major software transition. With clear communication and training, we finished on time and increased productivity by 15%. Concrete, measurable results are powerful and persuasive. Facing a new reality can feel overwhelming. You may feel pressure to make a huge change, which leads to paralysis. You do not need a 5-year plan. You need a starting point. Small, manageable, consistent steps build momentum. These small actions create a positive feedback loop. A little more clarity, energy, and courage each time. First, take one quiet hour for yourself. Find a place without interruptions. Take out a notebook and a pen. At the top, write, "My strengths." Think back over your career and life. Write every single thing you are good at, no matter how small. Are you a good listener? Do you stay calm in a crisis? Are you excellent at organizing information? Do you make people feel comfortable? For each strength, recall a specific moment you used it. This is not ego, it is evidence. You are building a case for your value. Second, list the skills you enjoy. Do you love solving puzzles? Teaching? Creating order from chaos? Pick one skill to refresh or deepen. This doesn't require a degree. Watch a few tutorials, read a recent book, take a free mini course. Dedicate 15 minutes a day. Small knowledge gains rebuild confidence. Third, have one low-pressure conversation. Reach out to someone you trust. Ask for their perspective. Don't ask for a job. Seek information and connection. Listen more than you talk. This moment is not an ending. It is not a sign your best years are behind you. It is a turning point, a bend in the road inviting you to choose with intention. The old map, the straight and narrow path to retirement, no longer represents the territory. That can be disorienting, but it is an invitation to become your own cartographer. Begin drawing your new map today, with one small, gentle line. You do not have to figure this out alone. If you are looking for a clear, calm place to begin, I have created a free guide specifically for people over 50 who want to find clarity without the pressure. It is not another to-do list. It is a series of simple prompts and short, reflective exercises to help you reconnect with your strengths and identify one small next move that feels right for you. It is a tool to build confidence at your own pace. You can find the link to download it below. Take what serves you and leave the rest. The rules changed quietly. Most people were never told. But now you know, and that knowledge is power. It is the power to choose. It is the power to act. Not with panic, but with calm, steady confidence. See your wisdom as currency. Refresh one skill. Have one conversation. Protect your energy. Speak to yourself with earned kindness. This is your time. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to begin. The world has changed, and so have you. Wiser, stronger, more resilient. All you have learned and endured has prepared you for this moment.